Hello YouTubers, DIYDan here with another Cayenne repair video. In this video I'll show you what steps I took in order to replace the windshield wiper motor on my 2005 Cayenne Turbo. Be warned, if you haven't priced a new wiper motor yet, sit down, make a stiff drink, and prepare yourself. Yikes! Alright, good, you're still with me. I mean, how the could this piece of wiper motor cost so much and not even last 58,000 miles? Alright, enough moaning. Time to get to work. First thing we need to do is remove the wiper motor cover. There are 4 plastic screws that hold the cover onto the body. I used a flathead screwdriver to push down and then twist to release them. Make sure to remove the plastic access panel located on the driver's side after you have released the 2 screws. Next, remove the 2 decorative plastic covers that hide the wiper arm bolts. I carefully used a flathead screwdriver to pry them up and out. After the decorative plastic covers are removed, use a 16mm socket and ratchet to remove the wiper arm bolts. Spray the bolts with penetrating oil. This will help us in removing the wiper arms. This is where things get tricky. There is this plastic base cover underneath each wiper arm that needs to be pulled away. There is a small access hole on either side of the wiper arm that allows us to do this. You can fit a small pick tool into the hole as I have to disengage the plastic base cover from the wiper arm. The goal is to be able to fit a 2-arm puller in between the plastic cover and wiper arm. If you grab the puller by the plastic base cover, you will break it. Once you have the plastic base cover separated, fit your 2-arm puller in between the base cover and wiper arm and start tightening it down. Once you have one side done, make sure to do the same thing to the other side. Once the wiper arms have been separated from the shaft, remove them. Next, remove the plastic base covers, making sure not to lose any associated hardware. Now we do the same thing to the driver's side wiper. Start off by using a flathead screwdriver to remove the plastic cover and then use a 16mm socket to loosen the nut. Don't forget to spray penetrating oil. In order to remove the driver's side wiper arm and motor, we need to make more room. What I'm doing here is laying some foam padding and a blanket across the windshield to protect it, as I will be resting the hood against it. This will give us the needed clearance in order to remove the rest of the parts. Next, pop the hood shock off the ball pivot on the hood and carefully lay the hood back. Now you're ready to remove the driver's side wiper arm. Install the 2-arm puller and tighten it down. The nice thing is, there is no plastic base cover to worry about, so it should remove with little fuss. Next, pull straight up to remove the trim pieces on either side of the windshield. If you're having trouble, a plastic trim and molding tool will aid in removing them. Finally, we are now ready to remove the wiper motor cover. First, pry away the rubber seal. Next, pull straight up where the plastic cover meets up with the windshield. There is a groove that the plastic cover sits in that keeps it sealed to the windshield. Be careful not to damage the 2 ends of the cover as you remove it. Don't forget to disconnect the electrical connector under the wiper cover before removing it. Next, remove the engine beauty covers. Pushing down on the plastic screws and twisting them will allow them to release. Once the covers are removed, disconnect the electrical connector to the wiper motor. Now remove the 3 T30 Torx bolts by the wiper motor. Next, remove the T30 Torx bolt located on the far right of the engine compartment. Now we are ready to remove the last two T30 Torx bolts located on the firewall. The right side bolt is located by a fuel hose, and the other is located on the left side behind the engine wiring harness. In order to remove the left side bolt, you may have to hold the engine wiring harness to the side. Disconnect the wiring harness from the wiper motor mounting plate by pulling up on it. While holding the wiring harness out of the way, remove the wiper motor assembly. Now that the wiper motor assembly is removed, flip it over and remove the 3 T30 Torx bolts and 13mm nut. Next, use a puller to separate the wiper motor from the linkage assembly. We now need to temporarily install the new wiper motor and power cycle it to make sure it is sitting at its home position. The wipers will not work unless the hood is latched. Make sure to close the hood before testing. Next, hop in the car and operate the wipers, making sure to let the motor wind all the way out until it stops. After setting the wiper motor to its home position, open the hood and remove it. Next, install the wiper motor onto its mounting plate by installing the 3 T30 Torx bolts. Before we can fasten down the linkage arm to the wiper motor, we need to set the clearance between the linkage arm and wiper stop. I'm using a digital caliper that I picked up at Harbor Freight to set the clearance as close as possible to 4mm. Once I have my 4mm of clearance, I tighten down the 13mm nut that secures the linkage arm to the motor. I do apologize for the video angle. I didn't realize how bad it was until it was all buttoned up. Before installing the wiper motor assembly, make sure the wiring harness is properly routed. When installing the wiper motor assembly, be mindful to keep the wiper motor harness and front harness in their correct locations. Loosely install the 4 upper T30 Torx bolts for the wiper motor assembly. You will want to loosely install these bolts so you have the ability to adjust the wiper motor assembly in case the 2 firewall bolts do not line up. Next, install the 2 firewall bolts. Use care when installing these bolts as they are very easy to drop. Once you have the firewall bolts in, go back over the bolts that were loosely installed and tighten them. Now, snap the wiring harness back into its mounting locations. Plug the wiper motor wiring harness in. Now, install the wiper motor cover. Plug in the electrical connector. Next, seat the wiper cover seal into the windshield by applying pressure along the bead. Take your time here, as you do not want water to get past this seal. Fasten the plastic screws down that hold the wiper cover to the body. Before fitting the wiper arms to the windshield, we need to reset the wiper motor to its home position. Remember, the wipers will not work unless the hood is closed. When turning on the wipers, make sure to let the wiper motor wind all the way out until it stops. Next, fit the plastic base covers to the wiper arms. Install the wiper arms and carefully line them up to the windshield. Tighten the two 16mm nuts. Now, install the driver's side wiper arm and carefully line it up. Tighten the 16mm nut. Install the plastic cover for the driver's side wiper arm. Install the two plastic covers for the passenger side wiper arm. Install the engine beauty covers. Yes, I'm finally done. If any of you are curious, I was quoted almost $1,100 for this job at my local Porsche dealer. Considering the cost of a new wiper motor is almost $500, I was able to save $600 by doing this job myself. If any of you have any questions on how to install a wiper motor in your Cayenne, leave them in the comments section and I'll do my best to answer them. If you thought this video was helpful, please hit the like button. So long.